and welcome to the 99 Lives podcast. Joining us tonight, my name is Chris.
I'm Paul.
I'm Wes.
Silver! And Carissa.
All right, it's been an interesting week.
Not so boring this time.
Yay, not so boring.
Not just lazy.
Shush!
All right, well, you know what? It's been a really interesting week that we've been having, with... actually, I think one of our biggest things was we got to enjoy a running of WrestleMania this last week, right?
Enjoy is a loose term.
Okay, most of it was good.
Yeah, to be fair...
We enjoyed a lot of that pay-per-view.
There's a lot of good things about that pay-per-view. Everything that's not named The Undertaker.
Yeah, that was kind of bullshit.
What was that match after?
The Diva match?
Yeah, that one too.
You actually remembered that?
She remembers there was one. Anyway.
Well, I was half asleep during the Undertaker Brock Lesnar match.
So was everybody else.
And
I think it's fair to warn that there are going to be WrestleMania spoilers.
Okay,
so if you haven't watched WrestleMania, we're sorry, but we're going to discuss exactly what happened.
If you haven't watched WrestleMania, why are you on the internet?
Get off the internet until you watch WrestleMania.
Whatever.
They've
probably already heard, the results to the pay-per-view anyway.
The Undertaker
I was gonna say,
is now 21-1.
Everybody's heard that by now.
Brock Lesnar's a bitch.
Undertaker got straight borked.
Yeah, well, anybody who actually stayed long enough to realize that we're actually going to be talking about wrestling for right now, they most likely would have already watched Raw since this is coming out on Tuesday, the day after. So
That's true.
They had time.
They'll get all the recaps.
They would have gotten all the recaps.
Fuck Bork Laser.
So,
Bork, please, Bork.
So, also to preface this, anybody who's
Bork.
listening to this who also watched Raw, we haven't yet when we recording this. So, if there's anything that gets kind of fixed or taken care of or talked about during Raw,
Or the crowd comes up with a new dance.
or a new dance, we apologize now for not mentioning it. Anyway.
Basically, the pay-per-view itself in its entirety was actually decent. It was actually decent,
Like Daniel Bryan is B+ at best.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Show us a B+.
Yeah, he's now
Solid
undisputed champion, which totally makes him B+.
Heck yeah, woo!
Yeah.
B+ title.
Go Washington Wrestlers.
Woo!
Washington, women's.
Yes. Okay, anyways. So, first off, let's discuss the big match everybody's so pissed about, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Now, in my opinion, and it seems to be a few opinions of other wrestlers in the wrestling community.
As well
Local
as
wrestling
thousands of fans.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. Actually, I wouldn't say thousands of fans, but...
Plenty cried.
Anyway.
But people who are involved in the wrestling community, we'll put it that way. WWE's general result is to entertain the fans, as we all know. Mm-hmm. It involves surprises, returns, departures. They want excitement. Well, at the end of the Undertaker-Brock Lesnar match, they got their shocking ending.
And
WWE gave each and everybody in the Superdome and the viewers at home, at the Silverdome. No.
My God.
Stupid Hulk Hogan.
I'm going to get into that in a minute. But
anyways, everybody was surprised. WWE did their job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're going to take the stance that they did their job, they did a good job, is that what you're saying? That they did a good job? Because I'm going to say, there's the door. You can go away.
No, it's not that. What he's trying to say...
Okay,
what he's trying to say is that the point is to shock, awe, and entertain.
Which is fine. I get that. Shock, awe, and entertain. But
the idea is butts in the seats. And I guarantee you, after that...
Butts left the seats, though.
No,
they
yeah.
left and they went home to their
That's
own
true.
seats.
There's no denying that.
There's no denying that.
Seats went buttless.
Anybody who watched it, the PPV, saw people leaving.
Right, but getting past that, though, that's no argument that people left WrestleMania because of that people walked out at the show. What I'm talking about is every single person who watched it, and not just every single person who watched it, but every single person who then heard about it who didn't watch it. The Raw after WrestleMania, the one that's airing tonight that we haven't watched yet, I guarantee you is going to have record-breaking numbers for people watching. Their ratings are going to skyrocket in comparison to most of their viewership for the last 3 years, just off of that alone.
That would have happened with anybody.
No, but that's my point. It didn't matter who was facing Taker. It didn't matter what happened with any of it. It's because the shock of something as grand as that happened. Everybody's going to tune in. That rating it makes WWE successful. That's what makes them successful and why they did their job.
The only problem is they pissed off the majority of their fan base because it's like, yeah, that's such a huge, shock that Undertaker loses. Great, fantastic. We all know he has to do it eventually. He's held together by spackle, glue, and a promise at this point.
I'm even wondering if the spackle's starting to run.
Exactly, so, like his eyeliner. So he had to lose at some point. Everybody knew that Undertaker has to lose at some point. The only problem is that he lost in such a shit-tacular match.
Agreed.
That it's like you could not lose to Triple H or Shawn Michaels or CM Punk or any of the awesome people that you had amazing, awesome matches with that nobody wanted to end. No. You ended with a match that most people fell asleep during it.
Me included.
And the only part that everyone was awake to was the meh when Undertaker loses. Like, literally, that's the only part of the match that's memorable. The rest of it is so fucking boring and botched.
Oh, the parts that I did get to see, because I fell asleep. I was trying so hard. And every other year that The Undertaker has had a match at WrestleMania, I have sat through and I have watched, never fallen asleep. They kept me on the edge of my seat, wanted me to, I literally had to have more every single second of the match. This match, I couldn't keep my eyes open. It was so boring. And the only parts that I did see were awful. They didn't look like they were selling anything.
Seriously, it's... I hate using this because I've seen more emotion and more selling out of Cloud Strife.
Oh. I've seen more emotion out of a cardboard box.
Exactly,
seriously.
Cloud Strife.
Yeah. But, man, and I agree with you on that. I mean, despite the fact that, yes, WWE is successful for what they do. They did shock and awe. They did their job. But I agree with you that when it comes to entertainment, that match was not entertaining. It was by far of the matches that were there, it was near the bottom, and that's
not the bottom.
No, Giant Gonzalez is among this group. No.
I was gonna say I don't know.
We were all cheering for Cesaro at the end of that match.
Honestly, no.
If you're cheering for anything in a match, then it's not a bad match.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only one that I would say that was any less, was any lower, was really the Diva match.
Well, that's always at the bottom,
and that's the point. Well,
they totally threw them to the wolves after
my point I was trying to say is that it's not just that the Diva match was lower; it was barely lower. We're talking missed by a knuckle.
Actually, I thought the Divas match was more entertaining because it was a wham bam, thank you ma'am, we're done. Bella Twins push each other around. They dress differently for once. That was a big shock.
You're right. That was more entertaining. That actually right there. That's my point. It barely broke it. It was like, a tiny amount.
John Cena had a better match.
Well, okay. Bray Wyatt had a lot to do with that, honestly.
Okay, but that's the point. John Cena's boring as shit when he wrestles. Great on the microphone. Boring as shit when he wrestles because he has the 5 moves of doom.
But he can adapt, though. The difference in that is that he can adapt to who he's wrestling with and make the match entertaining in that regard. The problem is, Taker, as great as he is, as amazing of an entertainer as he is, could not save that boring shit that is Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry, but Brock Lesnar is a boring wrestler. I have never once in his entire career given a shit about him. When he was originally wrestling to where he is now, not one of his matches I can remember with any detail aside other than him smashing his head on the mat trying to do a damn shooting star press.
Dumbass.
The one biggest botch he's ever had in his entire career, and that's the only thing I can remember of his entire career.
Other than
I honestly
the
do not.
Collapse.
No, even the stage collapse. Barely. You actually just had to remind me that happened. I remember that with Big Show more than I do with Brock Lesnar. I know it was together, but Big Show's the one that I represent with that. Brock Lesnar is basically he's
Jimmy John's bitch.
He's Jimmy John's bitch. That's the closest thing I got to him.
That's what I hate.
Absolutely nothing.
Taker lost to Jimmy John's bitch. That's essentially what happened.
Like I've been me myself. I've been kind of digesting that match for a little bit, and it's not even so much that I hate. I hate Brock Lesnar so much as Taker just deserved a better match. Like I hear everybody on the internet I've seen a lot of comments about, like, Taker probably requested that. He would have to, because he's Undertaker. He's got that kind of pull.
Yeah, it's possible.
So it's like, he wanted Brock to beat him. So, you shouldn't blame Brock. It's like, no, I'll blame Brock because he sucked that match.
Yeah.
And Undertaker wasn't even in his sharpest form either. I don't know if that was part of the storytelling, but I think he just wasn't ready to play. It might be why he wanted to retire.
That's probably.
And just end the damn streak. It's like, it just deserved a better match.
Well, Jimmy John should not represent Brock Lesnar at all, because Brock Lesnar doesn't know what freaky fast delivery means at all. I was saying, that match would have been much better if he knew what freaky fast delivery.
Freaky fast delivery.
Freaky fast delivery.
No, just that. No. He's freaky fast. Just ask Sable.
Oh.
Really?
Yes, of course. And now Brock Lesnar busted the door like the Kool-Aid Man for that comment.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no,
F5!
he'll do that 20 minutes from now.
Okay.
When it's too late to do anything about it.
So here's the other thing.
Like 4 a.m.
So here's the other thing that was getting me about that match, and this is something I've been kind of pondering for a while as well. Before WrestleMania even came out, and I've said this before, not on the podcast, but just with you guys, that the way the WWE was building, they've been planning on Brock Lesnar beating him for quite some time. And it was apparent when you look at it, because the first person, the biggest match that Undertaker's had in the last 5 years has been against Shawn Michaels, who nearly took him to his brink twice, but couldn't beat him. Then we bring Triple H, who was being shown as an even better person, an even stronger wrestler, and he brought Taker to his knees. He made it to a point, they even actually made the point that Taker could not walk out of that match on his own accord. He had to be dragged out with the stretcher, and yet he still won. There was no beating the Undertaker, even to a point that Undertaker was willing to die in the ring rather than lose. That's the build they were having. But during all of this, that they were making the Taker seem like this amazing, unstoppable beast, the one person who showed up and within a blink of an eye managed to beat both of them without even a moment's hesitation, the people who brought Taker to his knees, he beat was Lesnar. So this entire time for the last 4 or 5 years, and then CM Punk after that. Again, I keep forgetting that was involved too. Brock Lesnar beat all of them within a moment's hesitation, no problem, without even a sweat off his brow. And so it's obvious that was what they were going for.
But if that's the case, though, and that's what they were going for, then Taker, honestly, it should have been like a coffin match. And Taker should have been like put in a coffin with the coffin shut down, big theatrics, all that jazz. And that should have been, the match should have been larger than life. Yeah. Absolutely grandioso. It should have topped those 4 matches that you just mentioned by 1,000, because that's what they were building up to.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
I
Taker
agree.
walked out like, well, that sucked. Okay. He shouldn't have walked out. He should have been pulled out in a coffin, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I wanted his Drews to freaking come out and yank him out.
Yeah.
But no, you're totally right. I just wish it was even a wrestling match. It felt like watching an MMA match. It was a lot of ground and pound, a lot of Kimuras and stuff. Like, usually I'm up for more technical affairs, and they always make Taker out to be this huge brawler, but there was no real brawling.
It just looked like neither one of them cared.
It was very methodical
Yeah,
and super slow.
Yeah, and then at the same time, and I know again, Taker's an older guy. He probably couldn't take very much of an actual really big brutal match, but with the way that Brock was going at it, man, Taker had like at least 30 seconds to a minute worth of rest between each punch that was being delivered to him. The guy, Brock Lesnar was going so slow; it was a snail's pace. But even beyond that, you're looking back at these matches, even the one with CM Punk, we're talking how many, if you guys can remember, how many tombstones were delivered, how many choke slams were delivered.
Like 4 or 5.
But just even how many go to sleeps and things were done just to Undertaker. Move after move, finish after finish was done to the Undertaker. Not one of them it would bring him down. And in this match, 3 F5s and it's done. No Kimura locks. Like, there was one Kimura lock that weakened him.
There were 2
but it was mostly a
tombstones.
couple, kicks to the knee to bring him down. But what was it that did it? 3 F5s and that's it.
It's like, and there was the Brock Lesnar Kimura lock that got reversed into another Kimura lock or something like that.
Yeah, which that was
Yes.
cool. I did like that.
Yeah, I like that.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was a good part of it. And it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it has it had that Undertaker flair.
No.
It
Not
didn't
at
have
all.
that.
That was a mid-card match is what that was.
Sad to say.
It really
I'd say
was.
upper. I say it's for its positioning. Yeah, but Taker matches have main evented WrestleMania. They're bigger than Mania at this point.
They were
Were.
WrestleMania.
They were.
Sorry, were.
They were WrestleMania. That's the point. WrestleMania was a Taker match. That's what really defined it. That and Shawn Michaels at the time. But, you know, we lose one, then looks like 3-4 years later, or 5 years later, we lose the other.
Well, the problem. So here's the problem with Bork Laser winning it. I mean, granted that Undertaker is supposed to retire at some point, which they haven't announced, I don't think.
No, they haven't.
And
No,
so
no,
it's
no,
like,
yeah.
Probably on
what
Monday
is-
night.
It's like, what do we look forward to next year? Oh no, a third once-in-a-lifetime John Cena versus The Rock match! Because everybody wants to see another goddamn John Cena headline match, right? Because it's not like you don't see that every goddamn pay-per-view.
I think I'd rather eat a dildo than watch that match again.
I'm with you. Sauteed?
Chopped and yeah.
Chopped and sauteed.
Yeah.
Buttered, nice with olive oil.
Why is this a thing?
I don't know how to react to that.
God.
That's how bad.
But ultimately,
It's like no.
a couple of
think I'm
major
gonna be
things
sick.
came out of WrestleMania for me, okay?
Big purple one.
One,
Stop.
CM Punk is not kayfabe. He's probably not coming back. And you know what? I can't fucking blame him because number two, the part about WWE when they're just like, oh look, you know, shock, you know, these old people coming back. Hard to miss them when they won't fucking go away. Every single time. What do? Oh, look, here's this new person that we had on last week and 2 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago. I'm sorry, it's kind of one of those, it's really hard to miss people like Bret the Hitman Hart since he's there all the goddamn time. So is Bork Laser, so is The Rock, so is Stone Cold. What the hell happened with like the 4-year, 5-year period where nobody showed up?
Yeah.
You know, and then it's just like, oh my god, totally random, you're here, and now it's just like, cool, you're here, kind of expected.
Well, they realized the people that grew up with those guys are the ones who are buying merchandise, and so they started bringing those guys back just long enough to say their catchphrase and leave, kind of thing. And most of them are working in the back rooms. I mean, they're the trainers for the new guys. They're the talent scouts. They're the ones that are doing the main work outside of the ring now, and so they're always around. So whenever the WWE is just like, you know what, we want to get some fanfare, we want to get people in, to enjoy it. Let's just have
We
them
need butts
show up.
in the seats.
Yeah,
Hey, can you go out there and say your catchphrase?
Exactly, and but with that,
Pika!
but I'm right.
I was thinking of Stone Cold at the time when they were talking about like Stone Cold says so, and then he said Pika Pika, and that blended together. I don't know what life is anymore.
No, what I'm proud of is actually real quick on that one. What I'm proud of though is when they actually are bringing people back who are willing to try to wrestle more. I know a lot of the old guys just can't do it, except for except for a few of them who I really do think are in better shape now than they were back then.
Gold dust.
Oh yeah, but those ones they're actually bringing back and having wrestle again. I mean, look at Road Dogg and Jesse James. Those guys, as much as they are older. Road Dogg and what?
Billy Gunn.
Billy
Billy
Gunn.
Gunn.
Thank you. My
You
point
said
is
Road Dogg and Jesse James. It's the same man.
Sorry, I'm
Jesse
okay.
James and
and
Billy
Billy
Gunn.
Gunn. My point is, with the New Age Outlaws, the thing with them is that they're older guys. They've been around a long time, and you can see that when they're wrestling. They are definitely a lot slower than they used to be, but they're trying. They are working their ass off, and they are actually getting not just their pop from being the old guys, but they're the old guys who came back and are actually wrestling again. They even took the damn title for a little while, and then they had their WrestleMania match. I mean, which truthfully was a fun match, despite it was short. It was fun.
But there's a couple of major flaws in WWE right now that drive me crazy. Is number one, they already have people that people wanted to come and see, that people would love to see again, like William Regal, who I know is working there, but doesn't ever fucking come out. The only times he does, he's amazing. I mean, come on.
I want William Regal on Mike.
One of the last spots he
NXT
had was, John Laurinaitis walking around asking how you're doing. It's like, my twins, they're locked in the attic. And it's just like, because William Regal. So it's like, They have people that people want to see, and you know what they're called? The mid-card mafia. Because WWE does not know how to push people, not Randy Orton, not John Cena, and not people who wrestled 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, to me, is a big failing in this industry, that they're relying so heavily on superstars from the past that they're not giving anybody really any time to become superstars themselves, become more than curtain jerkers or mid-card mafia.
Yeah.
So that what's going to happen, when all these old superstars start dying, suddenly you're going to have this void of, oh shit, I wish I spent the last 15 years building more superstars, not John Cena, not Randy Orton.
Well, and then what's worse is what they do with those guys. When they have them, they shove them all into one big battle royal match. You take that Andre the Giant Memorial match and pick anybody from there. I'm even including 3MB in this one. All right, anybody in there. They are talented people and can do hella awesome on the mic and in the ring, and actually can get people in the seats if they were given the chance. Yeah. I loved the run that Miz had for the longest time. I loved his run becoming the champion. I love his run even when with him going down to the fall of his career to where he is right now. It's at a low. I really hope they try to push someone like him and don't just let him die off in the mid-card the way they have Kofi Kingston and...
I love Kofi Kingston.
I mean, what the hell happened to that Kofi? The one night where Randy Orton got that NASCAR and Kofi came out like full force and destroyed that thing?
Oh.
I want to see more of that Kofi Kingston.
I want to see more of that Randy Orton. Those two, when they were at it with each other back...
awesome.
That was awesome. Randy had emotion. He actually had promise. He cared. There was in the middle of that match, he would do things he never does anymore. He actually tried to make it entertaining. Now he's just playing it safe and just doesn't give a crap.
And they've literally become their own stereotypes. Every time, if Cena wasn't so entertaining, and this is what I hear with Orton, by the way, on the mic, if Cena wasn't so entertaining, I would literally just hear, Cena, 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 Orton, 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 Orton.
Orton.
What is
Cena
making them Pokemon? What the hell?
Because they are Pokemon.
First the
They are
Pikachu comment, now you're
Pokemon, Diz.
They
are
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
collect them all. What the hell?
They have their particular type that they almost never change unless you give them, a stone, aka the belt, and then they level up to their new evolution, quote-unquote, which is really the same thing with another coat of paint on it, and they still keep the same 5 moves of doom. Every single fucking one of them.
Funny to talk about Orton and
Evolution, yeah.
Yes.
When Orton got the belt when he was part of Evolution.
Exactly!
It's like,
And then
Clever
he
on
changed.
multiple level.
you know, yeah, seriously, it's that's one of the things I didn't like going into this Mania was that it felt like this could be a card from 2004, Batista versus Orton, Undertaker versus Lesnar. There was and Hogan's around. He's just not in his Mr. America costume. It's it feels like a 2004 card, but to be fair, there was a really good push last night for a new talent, and his name is Daniel Bryan.
Yay!
And Shield.
Yeah, and the Shield
And
kicks
Shield.
some
I
ass.
was gonna say, despite how fast that match was, how quick it was, I loved that run with them. Shield
The double,
just-
yeah,
That match almost seemed like a squash.
it was.
they had to rush
They
that
had to
'cause
rush
know-
it because
Well,
of
right,
because of the Daniel Bryan match before.
But that's just
Right.
it. Of all the new, rising, actually prominent, new superstars that you can count, just one hand.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Shield, Bray, Wyatt, Daniel Bryan.
It's Cesaro's coming in his own.
And
Cesaro,
Cesaro's
definitely.
Well, actually,
Who else?
but here's your point on that one. Look at the winners of every single one of these matches. Look at and literally, let's just kind of go off the run. There's the pre-show match, which had the Usos winning, all new talent. Well, not new, but you got
All new talent.
Well, no, newer talent, guys that are not being pushed normally.
Who would they fight?
Okay, so the pre-show match was the Usos versus the Real Americans versus Rybaxel versus Los Matadores.
Okay, so losers, and who's the last one?
Los Matadores.
No, I'm sorry.
Losers,
Well, Rybaxel is
Mexicans,
basically
Ryback and Curtis Axel.
and Curtis Axel.
The Real Americans.
the Real
Oh my God.
Americans,
Swagger
and
and
Swagger.
Cesaro.
Actually, it really, those are some pretty, decent, talented, tag teams that we're dealing with. Actually,
So talented, they were kept off the card.
They
The
were
main
kept
card.
off the card. Well, it is
most-
WrestleMania tradition now to kick the tag team match off the card.
The title unification match
They had
happened off the card.
Exactly. So my point is, they're trying to push him. Okay,
But the
then
diva match gets on. That's
well,
bullshit.
hold on. Yeah, I know that. Well, that's because they have to for gender diversity.
Yeah.
But moving on from there, you had Daniel Bryan beating Triple H. You had Shield beating against New Age Outlaws and Kane. You had
Cesaro
Cesaro
recreating
winning
WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, Cesaro recreating WrestleMania 3. You had, admittedly, we had John Cena beating Wyatt, but truthfully, the only way that wouldn't have happened would have been actually killing John Cena and putting his head on a pike, which I could totally see Bray Wyatt doing.
And so, I'm so sick of these embrace the hate storylines of Cena, where like the whole thing of going up against Cena is to make him a heel. Like literally, that's always the storyline.
Because it will never happen, and that's why he's so fucking boring, is because they won't make him a heel, because it's like, John Cena's the face of WWE, because we don't have 60 other superstars that could also be the face of the WWE, we have to stick with John Cena. Why? Like Taylor Lautner, we are also contracted to make sure his shirt is always off.
Yeah.
Well, it's something that WWE's done for a long time, and they even have made mention of this even at the beginning of WrestleMania. They had The Rock, who took over for Hulk Hogan. They had John Cena, who's taking over for The Rock, and then taking over. I say this with quotes because of the fact that he's been taking over for the last 10 years?
Yeah, he's been
years?
the underdog for 10 years.
Not more.
No, yeah, long. Well, I mean, since however long it was that Rock left.
How many times has Cena won the championship?
Underdog, remember? Like, he's only won 11 times or something like that. He's totally still the
only
underdog.
11 times.
Yeah. No, that's
11. I think he's like 15 now.
No.
Yeah, but underdog.
But still underdog. It's and it's nothing against John Cena in the regards of him as a wrestler, as an entertainer. You said it earlier. He is entertaining on the mic. He is funny. I love actually hearing him when he actually gets to just go all out on his opponents. It's just he was stagnant. He was being shoved in our face for so long. He's the face of the WWE because they do that all the time.
He's the poster child.
The poster child.
Yeah. I don't really fault the WWE for going whole hog in the John Cena, because Cena is he's a company guy.
He's a company guy.
Like, that's been in storyline before, but it's true.
It's true.
He's going to be a wrestler for the rest of his goddamn life. They don't have to worry about him jumping ship to Hollywood.
No.
They don't have to worry about him dropping out. Mm-hmm. He's going to be there freaking forever until he dies in the freaking ring.
Yeah.
He's like Ric Flair that way.
But the thing is
R.I.P.
that
Misawa.
I cannot remember what match this was. It was, maybe it was with Orton. I don't know, but he and the other wrestlers started using other people's moves, like finishers.
Yeah,
that was with Orton.
That was with Orton.
That was the most interesting John Cena match, short of the CM Punk Money in the Bank match with him that I've seen. When John Cena's not doing the 5 moves of doom, then he's interesting.
Yeah,
so it's
all
really
the matches,
all you need to do to change him up is change his goddamn move repertoire.
Have all the matches he had with CM Punk was amazing. All the matches he had with Daniel Bryan, as few as they were amazing. That match, like you said, changing up his moveset was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's like every time he needs someone that can actually help bring him out, that doesn't stagnate. The problem is he's stagnant with a regular moveset, and Randy Orton is even more stagnant with a moveset that never changes, even more than John Cena never changes. And the two of them together gets even more boring. I don't even again, getting back to not remembering anything that Brock Lesnar ever did, I don't even remember the run that he had against John Cena. I don't remember any of those matches that Brock Lesnar had.
He had a run against John Cena?
Yes!
At some point,
When did that happen?
When he came back, it was 2 years into the...
when Cena was talking in the ring, and it was Brock Lesnar's return. Crowd went crazy. Brock Lesnar came in and F5 Cena.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember it happened. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, well...
I do remember that.
Oh,
actually.
and you know what?
That was a Raw after Mania, as a matter of fact.
You know what's-
Yes.
You know what's kind of funny? With their,
After all.
amazing push for Daniel Bryan, does anyone else kind of knows that they're really kind of running over Batista, who they were so fucking keen to come back to win the Royal Rumble? Now he's losing in WrestleMania matches that he wasn't even headlining.
Yep.
Wow, because that was so worth fucking over the Royal Rumble for. Was having him come back so that he can fall into obscurity exactly like he did the first time. But let's give him another chance, folks, because he might not fall into obscurity like he did the first fucking time.
Actually, really, I don't think he really fell into obscurity the first time. Batista went
He
out.
rage quit in the ring.
I was gonna say, yeah, he rage quit. He ran off.
Oh, absolutely.
He disappeared like
part.
he disappeared like a whiny bitch. to the
You guys
left.
really don't want me here? Yes! Fine, I'm out!
He went out the way.
Woo!
He went out the way Jericho always wanted to.
Speaking of, where the hell is Chris Jericho?
Touring.
Fozzy.
Because they have
Fozzy.
nothing to do with him. Because
No, okay, that's Jericho's decision, though. That one actually is Jericho's decision. He came back to the WWE because he wanted to have fun doing what he loved, which is wrestling. But he also has his band that he is, and he has said to WWE is his number one priority, which is why he's never been in the limelight for the big matches. He's never really going to be a WWE champion again. He's not able to be there 24/7 like John Cena and the others. He has his tour, which takes him away from the company. So it
which kind of
happens.
sucks because I miss Jericho.
I miss
especially
Jericho
with this
too, but
number 101 arm bar.
Yeah, I can watch Jericho highlights all night and have on YouTube.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I have the DVD I've watched several times. I love the I love that
But then,
bastard.
Again, then you get like great, awesome, talented people like CM Punk, who's rage quitting and leaving the WWE because of these stupid fucking decisions of let's push new talent. Oh, by the way, by new talent I mean people who wrestled 7 years ago. Those are our brand new talent. Also, they're only going to be here for a couple months and then they're going to leave. But let's give them all the titles in the meantime. Really?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the most boring thing because, like Wes just said, said before, like, it looks like a 2004 card. It's because it is a 2004 card. They're literally replaying the older years again as if the new generation is going to somehow get attached to these old people. I'm sorry, because even the older people who watch, The Rock or whatever, can you name somebody who was a huge fan of The Rock who was not pissed off at the twice-in-a-lifetime bullshit?
Hi,
Yeah.
my name's Carissa.
You were not pissed off at the twice-in-a-lifetime.
Oh, no, I was pissed off. I'm
Thank
sorry. I thought
you.
you said you weren't. And I was like, oh.
No, she's
No,
saying,
it was.
can you name someone who wasn't pissed off at that?
Oh, no, the twice-in-a-lifetime thing I was pissed off about. The first time it happened, I actually really enjoyed that. That was cool.
Well, yeah,
I was like,
the
yeah,
first
that's
time
awesome.
because that was a
The
once in a
second
lifetime.
time it happened, I felt like I was gypped.
Yeah.
Look, I'll play devil's advocate here for a second, and I'll say that it was a good idea that they brought back a lot of the old names for Mania, even though I don't like them on the card as prominent as they were, that they brought them back because they wanted to get as many eyes, old and new, as they could on the WWE Network's first pay-per-view.
Well,
First
and that's
major pay-per-view.
and that makes sense. Have them come in, by the busload, host the show, but stop putting these people on a card that's only going to be there for like a couple of months and then leave. And then that's more and more time that nobody knew is getting a shot, and that's more and more time that like 3MB. Granted, they are the epitome of curtain jerkers, but give me more Bad News Barrett, damn it.
Well, what I was gonna say was, now think about the people that are buying the WWE Network right now. That's basically us. The people that they're bringing back, such as say Hulk Hogan, such as The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, were people of our age, of our generation, who used to watch them back in like the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, or
That back then when we were watching them. We are the ones who are now buying the WWE Network.
Right.
Basically, our generation and older.
Yeah, and showing them off to our kids, to our families, trying
Exactly.
to use it as an opportunity to bond with your children. I mean, how many of us actually remember, like, going over this, and this goes to all the fans as well, I mean, anybody, how many of this generation of people remember sitting down and watching this stuff with their parents? With their
Oh,
fathers?
shit, I watched China all the fucking time. China and D-Generation X were my favorite in WWE when I was a kid, and there was at one point where, and no, I'm not showing you the picture ever, where for Halloween, I dressed up as China.
I want to see that so bad.
Actually,
I don't
I'm
wanna
like-
see
I
that.
remember you saying that.
I'm
Yeah.
like 8 years old, and I'm like dressed up like China in like a really crappy black wig and everything because I wanted
Ninth
to look
wonder of
just
the
like
world.
her. I thought she was awesome. She was the shit when I was little.
And that's just it. And that's another huge complaint about the WWE, too. The lack of female wrestlers. Oh, there's plenty of divas out there.
But where's Karma?
I'm really fucking tired of seeing divas.
Where is Karma? That's a good-
Divalicious. This is
taking care of her daughter.
bullshit. It's like, oh, we
No,
don't
I
have
think
to
she's-
wrestle well because we have tits and extensions, and that'll be just fine, right? That'll pass for a legitimate match, right? Oh shit, you realize that 95% of the Divas roster can't wrestle, and those that do get stuck with, fart gimmicks because they don't know what to do with them. And then all the really awesome people, like Karma, that I want her to come back so bad. And how about Beth Phoenix, the second female to ever participate in the Royal Rumble?
Other than
Where is
China,
she
yeah.
now? Oh, she's a part of the Divas. Because what the fuck is a diva anyway? It's not a female wrestler. That's why nobody likes the Divas division, because it's not a legitimate wrestling thing. It's just, again, girls with giant ass tits and long ass extensions practicing for I don't know what, because they don't show it in the ring because they're too fucking fragile to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, let's compare the WWE Divas to the TNA Knockouts.
Okay.
Well, comparatively speaking, yes, both have
Big old titties.
giant busts and the booties and, just looks. However, the knockouts that TNA bring in actually have a wrestling background, have trained in, say, Ohio Valley. I can name a few of them. Have wrestled in, say, Shimmer. I can name a few of them as well.
Sure,
Whereas-
sounds like a
whereas-
sex club. Sorry, what?
No.
I know it does, but it's actually damn fine
No,
women's
it's
wrestling.
actually
Fine
it's
women's
very
wrestling,
good
yeah.
women's wrestling here in the U.S.
Yeah.
But the WWE Divas, they are just now bringing in women's wrestlers or women's athletes, as quoted by Shimmer. They're actually bringing Shimmer wrestlers into NXT, such as Paige. Paige, perfect example. She was built from a wrestling family. Her entire family wrestles. Emma, she's actually a local gal from up in Canada who's done very well for herself up there and now in NXT, and is now, she was in the Divas little battle royal, whatever you want to call it. She was in there, so she's being brought up real fast.
Okay.
But from what I've seen from her matches in NXT and in Canada, she's actually very good. She's a very good wrestler. Now, we also have to basically thank the women's trainer, Sarah Del Rey, or Sarah Amato, or
Which was only recently, by the way.
she's been a trainer for at least a year now.
Yeah, but that's still recently in comparison to how long the problem of the Divas have been around.
Very true.
The
Very
problem
true.
of the Divas has been around for a lot longer.
Well, yeah.
And it's all well and good that they're bringing in women who can actually wrestle, and that's great that, they were in the Diva match and all that jazz. That's all well and good. But they're putting women who can actually wrestle into a fuck it match where others who can't wrestle, so even though they can wrestle, they can't really go all out and do their shit, because if they do, they're gonna hurt these frail Barbies who don't know how to do shit, so they have to dumb themselves down to this Barbie level, so they don't really look that good anyway.
It's a team effort, and when the whole idea with the wrestling is that it's a team effort. So the person that you are, the person, so yourself and the person you're wrestling against have to work together to make the show entertaining. If the person you're wrestling against can't wrestle, if when you try to go for a kick or a punch, they're going to sell the move too early or move out of the way, or when they try to kick or punch you, they're going to miss by like 5 feet, it's not worth the damn. And that's what happened. If you actually, I know we were goofing off a lot, but if you actually watched that match, we had fun with how much better it was than the Undertaker match. But really watching it, there wasn't a single move that landed properly. There wasn't a single move that was done well. Every single one of them was just a crap fest, and there was no wrestling done in that match. The closest thing they had to an actual move back and forth of something happening was, like you said, the Bella Twins, who were dressed differently. Ooh, they were dressed differently. Big deal.
WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, WrestleMania moment. They dressed differently. But them going at it with each other because they were the only two in the ring, and they have actually been doing training to a degree. didn't do too bad together. And then who was it that did the dive out of the two people that did the dive out of the ring onto everybody? Oh no, actually that was the twins.
That was the
Bella Twins.
Yeah.
That was the
So
twins.
again, the Bella twins. They were the only ones that did anything worth a damn in that entire match, and did it to a degree that actually could be passed off as wrestling.
But doesn't anyone notice that the Divas division is so lame that they're pretty much mirroring the men's division? Because AJ Lee, has her long ass reign, like CM Punk, only to be replaced by more of the same, exactly in the same way. He replaced by the goddamn Bella Twins with their Divas of the Year. Yeah, because everybody totally voted for the Bella Twins over AJ Lee. And so that's another one of what I feel is another damn power play on their end to make the Bella Twins into something interesting.
Oh, everybody knows that was the most rigged part of that.
Yeah.
Just give us online that just has AJ Lee's name crossed as just say Bella Twins.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where the Shield was presenting that.
Yeah.
You see Dean Ambrose opening up the envelope, looking down. Just say Bella Twins, and he just looks up with just a smart ass smirk, and he's just like, "All right then."
Which is easy because he always smirks.
Yeah.
God bless you,
man.
Dean Ambrose.
God bless you, sir.
But I mean, and it didn't happen to be. It just happened to coincide around the time that their show was happened to be premiering that same week.
Oh, it had already been going actually.
I thought it premiered that week or the week before.
No, it was actually already running.
Oh,
I think it was
then
like
4 weeks in or something.
yeah,
like
just
that?
it was already just a few weeks in.
That's how much
Honestly,
anyone gave a
AJ
cat.
Lee is like AJ Lee, Natalia,
Beth
Tamina.
Beth Phoenix, and Tamina. They are the salvation of this damn group
I
until they
love
get
Tamina.
more people. And the problem
Wish I said user.
is that they have been wrestling people that suck so hard that they themselves are starting to suck because they cannot. It's just like you're literally.
Carry them. They have to carry.
They have to carry them all the time, and so their move is getting lesser and lesser and lesser because these other people, they're just like, oh my god, you're doing that thing. I don't know how to do that. I might chip a nail.
It always hurts. It always sucks. When
Oh my
I mean,
god.
at the Hall of Fame the night before, they inducted Lita into the Hall of Fame. And
Which
then
was really weird. I love Lita, but that kind of threw me off. And not because it was a bad idea, but honestly, I really do think that she's been around a long time. She's been a great wrestler, and the problem I think is that they don't have enough divas that are interesting enough for them to bring in that that they think people would care about.
Where's
Well, they've
China?
got-
Yeah,
where's
but where's China? Where's some of the other ones? I think Lita I think should have taken a little bit of a back burner to some of the other like really good female wrestlers that I think honestly set up the stage.
well, she was honestly for women's wrestling for a lot of people. She was one of the people who set up the stage. Her and Trish.
Yeah, I was say
Trish Stratus is what you do if you're a
Yeah.
model and you want to be a wrestler.
Yeah, no, I got that. That's
she's
why
the
she was
prime
inducted.
example.
That's why she was inducted last year. I know, but my point is not that I don't think Lita should be in there. I think she definitely should. I just think there's a few others that they need to start highlighting some of the people that, if it weren't for them, Lita and Trish would never have been involved.
Well, they kind of did with Mulan Mae Young.
Yeah,
Okay,
they've done that.
you got one. They haven't been doing that many, dude. There's of all these years, they've tried to do one diva at a time, one person at a time. and
They got Cyndi Lauper.
Oh,
I want to slap you so hard right now.
that
Well,
would be the
okay.
year that they also induct David Arquette if they haven't already.
No, he got inducted into a freaking table last time I saw him. And that's where he belongs.
Oh,
Well,
Actually,
okay,
how they're running
can,
through celebrities, I
can-
would not be surprised if that started happening.
I can think of maybe two other women's wrestlers from back in like the early 90s. Or sorry, early 90s to mid 90s.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Medusa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Medusa Maselli or Alondra Blaze?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dropping the
She's-
title.
Yep. She's won, but probably because of that stunt, she won't.
Sable was brought in, wasn't she?
Who?
Sable was inducted, wasn't she?
No, Sable hasn't been inducted.
No.
No.
Sable's one of the ones I would say that should have been brought into as
Okay.
as well. earlier.
Okay.
She wasn't as well known for her wrestling as much as just being
A valet.
She was her antics.
Right, but because of her antics, because
Oh.
of her valet,
Miss Elizabeth.
Oh yeah, Miss Elizabeth, another one. Yeah.
She got inducted.
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
she
was.
was
Yeah,
saying,
she was.
she
got
was
inducted.
inducted.
Was that at the same time as Macho Man? But anyway,
That I don't
gosh,
know.
I don't remember.
no, Miss
that.
Elizabeth got inducted.
Oh well, yeah, she was number one.
Yeah.
She was number one valet in that generation.
It's
So
like,
they had to have.
yeah, no, she's inducted. I know that for a
My
fact.
point is there are more divas that they could be bringing up. There's more that they can do. I know one of the biggest reasons they brought Lita was because they did Trish last year, and it's still in everybody's mind. She's still a big part of the WWE and easily accessible.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I get it. And again, I have no problems with them bringing her in. She deserves it. Flat out. I'm not arguing that in any way. Lita deserves it. She is amazing. She did set the stage along with Trish Stratus. She did a great job, and she was the one I watched throughout my throughout my childhood.
Oh yeah. Once, because I first saw Lita in ECW first. I didn't see her do a whole lot because
really
she was
wasn't-
managing Danny Doring and Amish Roadkill.
Yeah, she wasn't
at
really,
that time.
She wasn't really big at the time.
That's
She
one
wasn't
of the
No,
best
but
wrestling
once
ever.
once she was brought in with S.A. Rios, that's when she started progressing, and that's when she got to be a bigger name.
Yeah.
Because they let her have the stage, and soon she started getting involved in men's matches, and then eventually got her feuds with Trish Stratus, which turned out to be some of the best matches in the women's division at that time.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking, there's hope for the Divas division. There's real hope with Sarah Del Rey as the head trainer for the Divas. I think there's just a few things that need to change. One, change that stupid-ass butterfly belt. Nobody thinks that's prestigious.
No.
Nobody thinks
That's a
that's
joke.
It's a freaking joke. It's a novelty
the
belt.
word diva.
well,
Yeah, but it's synonymous with the WWE.
yeah.
now. That they
It's
can't
their
say,
brand.
It's their brand. It's women's wrestler. That doesn't
It's-
quite fit as well, so
you
they
know.
do diva because it fits an all general purpose between wrestler, supermodel, spokeswoman, whatever.
The fact that they have to have supermodel in there, though, bothers me.
Yeah, it
That
is.
it's just like exactly diva is synonymous with spokeswoman, with female wrestler, supermodel. Because a woman can't do anything else in WWE but also be a supermodel. Really? I thought the whole point of being a female wrestler is I don't know, wrestling. I kind of thought that was your occupational title, so that you should be good at it. Not I'm here so that I can have a better name, so that I can model for Playboy.
And I can't believe I'm saying this. And it is kind of still part of the reason of why women's wrestlers got bigger in the WWE, because they weren't wrestling first. They were around, but that wasn't nearly as prominent as the valets.
Absolutely.
Showing off
Yeah.
their body and being said supermodel to make the wrestler look better, which was very, very, of course, it was against women in that regard because it's very sexist. But at the same time, it's a very long, long road to get rid of that.
Well, the valet thing was kind of like an offshoot of boxing.
Yeah,
You know?
it was an offshoot of
That's why they're
boxing,
called ballet.
Yeah, that's why they're called valets. Yeah.
I mean, who as far as valets, who did we have between, like, say, the mid '80s to the, we'll say, mid to late '90s? We had Miss Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
We had
Sonny.
Marlena,
Marlena, Sunny.
Sonny. Yeah.
Sonny was one of the best. I think she's inducted too. I
Sonny-
think
Yes,
Sonny
she
is.
was.
Sonny-
yeah.
Yes, she was. Like,
Stacy wasn't though.
that's right. Stacy
Keibler
was a valet as well. Michelle McCool. She was. Well, I think she was more.
No, she was a valet. She was a valet early
first.
on with the
Yeah, she
with
was
the
a
Bastions.
valet, but I don't think it was mid late '90s.
That was 2000s.
Yeah,
It was
that was
2000s,
early
yeah.
2000s because she valeted for
Bastions.
Aaron Stevens and God, I want to say his name was Casey James, but yeah, but it was that tag team that didn't last very long, sadly, because those two were very good together. But yeah, basically, the main valets were the ones mentioned. Marlena, Sonny, Miss Elizabeth. I'm sure there were maybe one or two more,
and I'm
but-
sure there's even more that we're missing. But
those three are the ones that people. Oh, Sable
thank
even.
you. Yeah.
Sable was a valet back then.
Yeah.
Those four ladies are the ones that people remember as valets and valets only. Then they were brought up to try and pull hair, slap a few faces,
which led further, because I mean there were women's wrestlers before that. I mean you said so earlier with
Moolah, Mae Young. They brought in a lot of the Japanese women at the time in the mid '90s
Yeah,
for
really.
Alundra Blaze and Bertha Faye even.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. That's what I was saying about things that need to change in the Diva division. Look at the Joshis.
Oh yeah.
Look at them over in Japan. Look at some of the women working in Mexico. I mean, Lita was talking about Arena Mexico during her acceptance speech.
Mm-hmm.
That's a damn good place to find women's wrestlers. There's a lot of great international talent out there that America just does not have.
Well, the only Joshi wrestlers that are brought into the U.S. is the women in Shimmer.
Hold on. It's having
What
fun?
are you laughing at, guys?
Yeah, it's because it's really annoying.
I'm sorry, but I just had the thought, the women's wrestling thing, and then it just went back, for some reason, to Brock Lesnar. My immediate first thought is, I want to brick him with a GameCube, and then she said, well, no, he just knows sell it.
All right, I want to know, will Brock Lesnar trebuchet? Can you launch Brock Lesnar with a trebuchet?
He wouldn't sell it.
He would not.
No, the trebuchet would flip over him as it tried to launch him.
He's the counterweight.
Speaking of like
Wile E. Coyote,
He'll
anybody?
F5 the trebuchet.
going through
Damn
like,
it!
going through like the women's wrestling and everything that you guys were talking about, I actually did just find an article that was posted last year on WWE as a blog. Why China won't be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, like, ever.
Uh-huh.
And it's because she's in the porn industry.
Yep.
She
Makes
actively
sense.
makes porn. She likes that.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't want to stop. She's not in a support group. And with the way that WWE is going with the anti-bullying, with the Make-A-Wish kids, all that jazz, I can kind of see why WWE won't induct her into the Hall of Fame. Not like she doesn't fucking deserve it. I completely agree with the article. Completely agree with the guy who wrote it. That, yeah, she totally fucking deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, just not while she's still a porn star.
But
Well, because they want to keep everything family friendly.
They want to keep everything PG, and they want to keep everything.
Well, but what they're currently doing, whatever the wrestler's currently doing, is never ever brought up. It's not something that gets mentioned unless it's part of the story or something that they want to do. They could easily induct her and not involve that at all.
Well, they could also blame some of the drug problems and stuff that she's had. She was on that show, that VH1 show for a while.
Celebrity Rehab.
Celebrity Rehab, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that is another factor, too. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going to keep her out for a while.
I was just like, no. Like, again, reading this article, Jake the Snake Roberts had equal amount of drug problems.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs are not the point. It's literally the porn.
It's literally
it is.
because
drugs aren't the point yet. Look at half the guys that are out there from that day.
And Scott Hall was there, too.
It's not even the porn itself. It's more of Jake the Snake did drugs, admitted he had a mistake, went to rehab, doesn't want to do it again. That he's allowed in the Hall of Fame because he admits he made a mistake. It's not something he wants to continue with.
Okay, what's Scott Hall's excuse?
God dang it.
What? The man's hair is whiter than white, and I'm pretty sure it's from the cocaine. I'm just saying.
There you go.
Cocaine doesn't turn your hair white, it makes it fall out. Shut up. With China, she doesn't want to stop. It's something that, no, I actually enjoy doing this, I'm not ashamed of it, whatever. So that's why WWE is like, well, we can't really... I can understand why they don't want to induct her, because she actively does it. It's not something that she says, oh, this was a mistake, I didn't mean to, yada, yada, yada.
I don't think she's even worried about not making it in, because I
don't think she
after she grows old enough to where she's just not going to be not going to have value in porn.
Yeah.
Then they'll induct her.
Although speaking of women's
Like Mae
wrestlers,
Young.
Speaking of women's wrestlers, the article actually does have a few other names that does.
Did you just insinuate that Mae Young does porn?
No,
That she did porn or
no,
something?
you fucker, no.
Sorry,
God, what is wrong with you? I meant, like, when she's old, then they'll induct her. Like, Mae Young is old as shit. Like, then they inducted her.
Was.
Old as shit,
She's...
yeah. Whatever.
Rest her soul.
Then they inducted her,
No, she was not implying that Mae Young spent her wrestling years doing porn, and then now that she's no longer doing porn, they inducted her. That is not the implication.
Well, there was sexual chocolate.
Nasty.
Okay, sexual...
Okay.
Nobody wants sexual
Okay,
chocolate.
if we're gonna go that route, I mean, look how many of the divas at the time were also in Playboy. But beyond that, I was actually going to say the article actually does mention a few other names we actually completely forgot about, with things like Alondra Blaze, Sherry Martel, Jacqueline Ivory, Molly Holly. I mean, these are a lot of
Molly
girls.
I was about to say,
Wow.
I forgot it earlier, but it's like, I think Ivory should take a shot at the Hall of Fame. She was a big part of the Attitude
Yeah, there's
Era.
not a single one of them on that list that doesn't deserve it.
By
I mean,
the
they
way-
do, everyone.
By the way, I'm giving credit to Tom Clark. He's the featured columnist, and this article was posted on August 8th, 2013.
From Bleach Report. Bleach Report.
From what?
It's from Bleach Report. It's
BleachReport.com.
Bleacher Report, whatever.
BleacherReport.com. So we didn't actually find this or nothing. Well, I found it, but we didn't write it. These aren't our words, but we do agree with it.
Yeah, but no, I think there's hope for the Divas, Diva division. I am so looking forward to when if they actually put a little effort into it, because it's not going to take much. There's people on the roster that can go. There's people on the roster that can work. You just have to kind of separate out your valets to your wrestlers, because you can have valets and you can have women's wrestlers. That's okay. Just don't make the valets have to wrestle. It brings everybody down. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot that we can definitely say about that. There's even more we can go on. I actually kind of want to roll back to WrestleMania real fast.
No one wants to talk about
Full
WrestleMania.
circle.
Yeah, exactly. Roll back here with WrestleMania. If you guys could pick a match that one that really stood out, or a moment in WrestleMania this year that really stood out for you, what would it be if you guys had any?
You mean like as a moment?
Yeah, like as a moment, other than, actually no, just in general, any limit.
Daniel Bryan Triple H match.
I was going to say, Daniel Bryan and Triple H match was good. That one was the best.
There's two for me. I'm having a hard time debating between two. Cesaro body slamming Big Show is an awesome freaking moment. With how easy he lifted him. I mean, I know how a body slam works where Big Show would have to jump up a little bit, but that ends after a little while. Eventually, you're holding the Big Show. And Cesaro's just freakish strong. I love watching that man wrestle. I loved him as Castagnoli. I love him as Cesaro. But the other moment I was thinking of, that in the main event title match, the Batista bomb / RKO onto Daniel Bryan through the table.
Onto the monitor.
Oh, that poor Randy.
Randy, man, you got some of my respect back going on that monitor and freaking finishing the match, because that could not have felt good.
Oh
Dude,
my
you
God.
could see the mark. You not only could you see the marks on his back in the shape of the monitor he landed on, but those marks were bleeding.
Yeah, oh my God. I was like, dude, hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know where that monitor came from. It just appeared under his back.
When he lifted the thing up, he threw the monitor behind the table like they normally do. But the problem is, I think the monitor came out in front, like under the table.
It bunched back.
Yeah, it bunched back so that
wires.
when the table collapsed, it moved the monitor right in the position. Plus, he was off center trying to catch Daniel Bryan, which that's another part that really fits on that one. Randy Orton making sure Daniel Bryan didn't get hurt on that, and took the damage himself. That's props.
Yeah,
That was
definitely
actually
props
a decent match
props to
for
him.
once.
I totally forgave the fact that he totally no-selled getting dumped outside the ring. When he got tossed over the top rope of the ring, he just lands on the outside and walks casually back to the apron and yanks Batista's legs. What? Come on. But I forgive that, because you were a trooper after the monitor thing.
Yeah.
Old Randy would have rage quit.
Honestly, I'd have to agree with Wes. Those two were definitely probably the big highlights of WrestleMania.
But there's still one match that they promised one night that they haven't done yet, and I really want to see it.
What's that?
I want to see Triple H wrestling a broom.
But
Wait,
you need to bring Punk back one night to do commentary.
He's got to do commentary.
Punk on commentary. Or wait, was it going to be Triple H or was it going to be John Cena wrestling?
No. It was Triple H wrestling a broom. John Cena was going to ref the match, and a special guest ref.
Well,
and
Sheamus was there too, so it ended up turning into Triple H reffing, and then Sheamus and John Cena with Punk on commentary. It's just like, I want that again. I want I want to see headlining WrestleMania next year instead of the Undertaker match is Triple H versus a broom.
Mm-hmm. And with Cena and Punk so good on the mics, they'll make that commentary so interesting.
Oh my God!
They'll make that
when
very entertaining.
They play off really good.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
I want my dream team. I would love to see William Regal and CM Punk on mic.
That
They
would be
did
amazing.
that once on NXT, and it was glorious. They just made inside jokes for like an hour straight.
Yeah.
Inside wrestling jokes. I think Punk yelled, "What a maneuver!" no less than 5 times in that show. It was the most glorious thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, for me, this with WrestleMania, I mean, obviously Daniel Bryan steals the show. That's the given. He gets the title. He wins. He becomes the man that destroys the regime or beats the regime or whatever.
Except he didn't.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, the Batista RKO combo was a huge one. Actually, funny enough for me, one of the biggest moments that still sticks in my head is Bray Wyatt singing the whole words, the whole
And the crowd singing with him.
Crowd singing with him.
Oh, that was the best. He started
John
orchestrating them.
Yeah, because he was orchestrating them, and he was like sitting there, he sits there with John Cena, like stroking his head, going, "Shh, it's almost over. It's almost over." Oh, world in his hands.
Oh my god, that was
That
so
creepy
good.
motherfucker. I love him.
Oh, his psychology is so fucking great.
Yeah.
He found his character, and it was great.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Kind of finish up the podcast here. We, since a lot of WWE fans were quote unquote rage quitting over the after the match of Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, we'd like to go around and share our biggest rage quit moments in gaming.
At least so we have something.
Oh yeah. I'm
Something
sure we all.
gaming-related.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
we all
something to
have
transition to
something.
next week when we actually get back onto gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who wants to start that?
Well, actually, Paul, since you.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll start off. So I'd have to say my biggest rage quit moment was so many years ago, where my best friend introduced me to Tetris Attack. Yeah, so he's like, "Hey, you should come over. You really should try this game." I had never heard of it. I figured it was going to be just a normal kind of a Tetris game, falling blocks. Great. I'm good at Tetris. This was a totally different game. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And he just kept beating me. And I just said, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck you. I don't want to play this anymore, man. You are not making this fun for me. And he's like, well, you just got to do better. I'm just like, how the hell do you expect me to do better when I don't even own the damn game? Come on. I cannot get better at this if you are just beating me like a redheaded stepchild. Come on, man. I cannot get better at this if you're going to continue to do this. I know you're listening, motherfucker. I know you're listening. And now, to this day, I am kicking your ass. But I don't see you rage quitting, so that's...
Still, he's got a one-up on me.
Yeah, he still has a one-up on me, jackass. Yeah, you need to start practicing, buddy boy. All right, who's next?
Well, Carissa is, vigorously pointing at me because I guess apparently I'm next. So basically, I guess I've been thinking about this for a while, and I have a hard time thinking about games that I rage quit on, because in truth, when it comes to gaming, it's not that I don't get angry at games. It's just I'm extremely patient with them, but beyond that, the anger that I get in a video game fuels me to continue longer. If the more angry I am at the game, the more I play it, the harder I go at it, and I will repeat the same damn mission 100 times just to finish it.
Good. The hate fuels
The hate literally fuels me to play it harder and longer. That's what she said. But the thing is, okay, but I did actually think of one that I did actually flat out just rage quit, but not because I wasn't angry as much. It was just because it was so bad I could not finish this game, and that actually was the license game for the Iron Man movie when that came out. That god-awful thing. Wes and I actually ended up renting it one time, just sitting down and playing through, and I don't think I got an hour in before I said, fuck this noise, and left.
Nice.
Although, funny enough, even though I don't have as humorous of rage quit stories, I do have we do have an ex-roommate who had the most hilarious rage quit.
Before you go, I'll let you continue,
Okay.
but since we're going to talk about other rage quits like yourself, I want to throw out just a couple.
Sure.
Continue.
Hi, Kanye.
Continue. What?
Hi, Kanye.
I'm gonna let you finish, but my rage quit is the best rage quit of all time.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
No,
So-
I didn't.
I said it for you.
Yeah.
So it means
Stop
you
putting
said
words
it.
in my mouth.
Well, there they are.
Stop
God
opening
damn
your
it,
mouth.
Wes.
Stop
Damn it,
opening them
Silver.
and he'll stop putting words in them. All right, no, but okay. So the rage quit I was referring to, a friend, an old roommate of mine, when he was playing through, it was actually Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, or no, it was Umbrella Chronicles. It was the first one. It was,
okay. I'll
a-
say what?
Well, no, there's they came out with Umbrella Chronicles, and then they came out with a second one, Dark Side one. It was or Dark, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, the Umbrella Chronicles one. It's basically a rail shooter Resident Evil game where you use the Wiimote to shoot your gun at the zombies. Simple.
Okay.
The game wasn't too bad, but there were a few moments in there of just utter frustration. For him, what was funny is watching the frustration happen. Like, he'd go through a mission, he'd get to a point where that frustration would come up, and he would just you'd see him start to twitch. You'd see him start to shake and get ready to go. And after, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 tries, because he had no patience whatsoever, next thing you know, because for me, I actually walked out for a moment to go get a drink, and all I hear is just smack as he threw the Wiimote through the wall.
Wow. Oh my god.
Like through.
Not into
the next
like
room.
into the next room. We had to actually plaster both sides and make sure that there was
Oh my god.
He missed the stud in the wall. I don't know how, but he went through both sides of the drywall. He threw it so damn hard. Which, getting back real quick, just as an homage to our
I
previous...
told you the Wii was tough.
No, the Wii's... No, the Wii would have shattered into a million pieces. The Wiimote, on the other hand, can go through double pane glass and still freaking play.
Yeah, Wiimotes
Very
are made
true.
of adamantium.
Very true.
Yeah, the
Very
Wiimotes
true.
are made out of adamantium. Those sons of bitches will last for the lifetime. And that was proof of it right there.
Okay, I'm going next. Mine, it's not so much a rage quit on a game as much as a rage quit through violence. More the rage part of rage quitting. So I loved Earthworm Jim for the SNES. Loved Earthworm Jim, Psychro, the freaking cow launch at the beginning of the game that bit you in the ass later.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it all except the dog section. Screw them.
Peter Puppy.
Peter Puppy, screw them. But anyway, so my friend, I sit down with my buddy because I want to show him Earthworm Jim, and he sits down and he starts playing. He's on the first level, and he's having trouble getting into his own section because there's like this part where like a wall of fire comes. You know, you're supposed to jump over it. You know, you'll get over it on like the apex of the jump.
Okay.
I don't remember that part, but go ahead.
It's like in the junkyard area. Anyway,
Well, yeah.
so it comes down, it goes by, and he's just not jumping right. Like, he cannot get the timing of this down. And I'm like, oh, dude, you just have to hit A. A is jumps. Like, I know. And like, and just lets it hit him. And I'm like, dude, just hit A. It's like, just hit A and just jump. It's like, okay, cool. And he's like, he's waiting way too late to jump and everything. It's like, no, dude, you have to hit, like, right then. Like, I'll show you. He's like, no, I want the controller. It's like, okay, dude, just hit A when I tell you to. And I'm like, now. And he, like, pauses for a half second before jumping. And I'm getting frustrated as hell. And I'm like, dude, just press A. Just jump. And it's like, just jump. And then eventually, he just lets the wall hit him. I grab him, throw him to the ground, and I just start whomping him in the face, just punching him. I hit him like 4 times in the face as hard as I can. And
Press A! Press A, motherfucker! Press A!
Is that a damn cutscene? Press A!
yeah, I just hit him in the face. And like, I'm like 9 at the time. Like, we're both like 9 years old, and I just throw him to the ground and I just start hitting him. And I leave the room and go downstairs and just like stand looking out the window at the other end of the house and let my mom find him crying in my room. And as soon as she sees him crying on the ground, she runs down and talks to me. She's like, Wesley, what did you do? And I just look at her and I'm like, he didn't press A. He didn't jump. He didn't jump. That was perfect logic for me at 9.
Oh.
That's my rage quit story.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Hard to follow that
awesome.
one, right?
Yeah.
Better now.
Yeah.
I think let's just go ahead and end on that one. Unless,
Well, no. I mean,
other ones?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and end on that one, totally ignoring the other 2 people of the podcast.
Hey, you pointing at me.
I was...
Yes,
Oh, I
because
was
the
doing
world
the
ends
guys
with
early.
you.
Square
Anyways,
Enix.
next.
Square Enix should make that game.
So I have like 2.
again. Okay,
They're really short. They're not quite as long as that.
it's all right.
The first one, I've never played Ocarina of Time. Never played it ever. It was the first time I'd ever played it ever. Was on a 3DS. I played it a little bit when I was younger. Like my cousin had it on the N64, and he would hand me the controller when he was running around with Epona, and then I would run around on Epona. That's all I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
Later on, when they came out for the 3DS, I actually played the game, and it was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Until I got to the very end of the game, and then I was pissed every fucking second playing this game, because I didn't know that you could increase your hearts. I didn't know that there was a special, like, crystal-y thingy, shut up, that would give you magic, that would give you, like, a shield. I didn't know that you, like, I'm not even fucking joking, I didn't know this bullshit, and I found out, like, way late, but before I knew that crap, I started going after Ganon. I could get past the first part, no problem. But as soon as he turned into a big monster pig man... Thank you, Navi, you stupid fucking bitch. I don't want to target the wall. I don't want to target Zelda, who's not doing a goddamn thing. I want to target his tail. Oh, wait, no, I can't do that now because I died, because you decided this pile of rubble was way more entertaining than the goddamn part I'm trying to hit. So, like, it took everything I had. And I'm talking, like, I tried for hours to try and beat this. Hours! It took everything I had not to throw my 3DS down the hallway of my house and be like, nope, fuck it, I hate this game sucks, worst game ever. Like, it took every fiber of my being not to throw it. When finally Silver actually helped me out, like, this is like almost a year later, because I hadn't touched it in like a year, she goes, oh yeah, you can get this, and this, and I'm like, fuck me.
So you did a 3-heart challenge accidentally?
Well, I didn't
Kind
have
of.
3 hearts.
She
like,
still picked up the hearts from when she beat the bosses
Oh,
each
so-
level.
so-
It was more
she
like 4.
Like a 9-heart challenge.
yeah, it was more like a 9-heart challenge
Yeah.
instead of the freaking 19
and
that you're
instead of
normally
like
supposed to
19,
have.
I was like down. Like I had like I think I want to say I had like 11 of the 19 hearts that you're supposed to have or something. I had like 1 whole row and then like 3, and when you're supposed to have like 2 whole rows when you go face Ganon, I didn't fucking know that. So I was just like, oh, I'm good, no problem. I got like 4 fairies, no big deal. No, fuck me, that's not gonna work.
She didn't double heart.
I didn't double heart either. That was the other thing, was the double heart thing. I had no idea what the shit that was. So thank you, Silver, for not making me kill my game. The only other one
Actually, I was going to say real quick, Silver, just to clarify, in case anyone who doesn't know what the double heart thing is, for those who haven't played, if you want to explain it a
if you
little
don't know it, look it up.
If you don't know the double heart, once
saying.
you're inside of Ganon's tower and you have finished the Shadow Temple or Shadow Temple area, at least enough to get the golden gauntlets, leave Ganon's tower, go across the bridge, and go to the, if you're leaving Ganon's tower, you'll take a left to go all the way to the end where there's a dead end. There's a giant rock that used the golden gauntlets to move, and there is a fairy. Plays Zelda's lullaby, and she will now double your hearts. Or you get a nice little white ring around your hearts, and you
It doubles
take
the-
twice
it's the
damage.
armor, yeah.
It doubles your armor, twice damage.
I learned something today.
Yeah.
Same here.
So, didn't know that. So, yeah. The only other rage quit that I have is not mine. I witnessed my supervisor do this.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
So he and I were working, because, I do my job, and he goes, God damn it! And I'm like, what's the matter? And he's on his cell phone, and he's, like, tapping furiously on his cell phone.
Is he
And
playing
I'm
Flappy
like,
Bird?
shut up.
What? You were saying
And-
earlier how much Flappy Bird induces violence. You can just come on.
Whatever.
Anyways.
So I'm like, what the hell's the matter? And he's just like, God damn it. And he's not talking to me at all. And this isn't normal. Jason, he normally talks to me while we're working. So I lean over my desk to kind of look at his desk, and he's sitting there just beating the shit out of his phone with his finger. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Because he had just told me this is a brand new phone. Brand new iPhone 5, what
And
the
he's
fuck
there
ever.
sitting
And
there
he is
beating the
like,
hell out of
he's
it.
like almost beating the shit out of this phone. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? What's the matter? And he's just like, I fucking hate Flappy Bird. God fucking damn it.
It was Flappy Bird.
Oh, fuck
It
that!
was Flappy Bird.
That damn thing. No, fuck that game. That game induces violence.
That game by itself is the reason people are violent. No other fucking game. Call of Duty, Saints Row,
yeah.
Grand Theft Auto. None of these games will induce violence.
People used to blame
Flappy
Doom
Bird
back in the day. No, it was fucking Flappy Bird.
Damn right.
No. I have the only 2 words in existence. I have the only 2 words in existence that will beat Flappy Bird to anyone who ever played the game. Rainbow Ride.
Mario 64.
Yeah.
Rainbow Ride.
What?
So please elaborate for those who
Mario
didn't shudder when you said that.
64. For those of you who did not play Super Mario 64, I feel pity for you. For those of you who did and beat it, congratulations.
You suck.
For those of you who did and got all 120 stars, you deserve a medal.
You still suck.
Now, granted, I've become very, very, very good at Mario 64 since I first started playing it. However, doesn't matter how amazing I get, come on, for a couple of levels, get all stars and all 100 coins for the star in less than 10 minutes. Not hard. Except for fucking Rainbow Ride. Rainbow Ride can die in a fire. That and Tick-Tock Clock can also die in a fucking fire.
Thank you.
Both of those levels, especially Rainbow Ride, that's one of those levels like, oh cool, look how pretty it is. I'm up in the sky, there's rainbows, there's clouds, and there's armies of death waiting for you. Because doesn't matter where you go on Rainbow Ride, I have never seen a Mario game where there's so many ways to die on one level. And that's Rainbow Ride. One small misstep, you fall to your death immediately. There's always the spikes. There's the fun platforms that fall out from under your feet that you weren't expecting. Oh yeah, but you also have to use those to jump to poles, so that you can jump to the pole at the very top of the thing, so you can get the rest of the 100 coins for the 100 coin star. But if you fuck that up and you get stuck, and yeah, you can get stuck, you have to fall to your death, or you have to start all over again. Over and over and over. Oh yeah, and then there's the wind on the totally random locations that blow your ass off too. And then the random blocks that get in your way. But they don't actually do anything other than fall. They're just there to be in your way because, fuck you. And then there's the pendulum and all the goddamn poles. Fuck Rainbow Ride.
I think I sense some resentment here.
And then the next bastard child, Tick-Tock Clock. You can go die in a fire too. Because Tick-Tock Clock, for those of you who have not played the Tick-Tock Clock level, you are blessed. Don't do it. Don't if you don't have to. Fuck Tick-Tock Clock. Because it's that awesome little level on one of the last floors of Mario 64 where you jump into a grandfather clock. But when you do, depending on what time you jump in, will depend on how fast or slow the level moves. So, you can jump in as normal, or it's like 2 times fast, or like super slow, or stopped, depending on when you jump in. Now, if you don't have the interwebs to look it up, you have to guess. Which is what I did the first time because I played it in 96 when this first came out, and, my 57K connection wasn't really doing it for me at the time.
It wasn't your primary focus.
It wasn't my primary focus. But Rainbow Ride and Tick-Tock Clock. So Tick-Tock Clock, in order to get the 100 coin star, is impossible if the clock is stopped. Why? Because it blocks your way up to the upper levels where the rest of the coins are located. I've done this. You can only get about 76 coins before you're fucked. You have to have the clock moving to get up there, which if anyone's played fucking Tick-Tock Clock, it's just as bad as Rainbow Ride, where the level is out to kill you. It is out to push you off the ledge, and so many other methods. They literally suspend red coins over oblivion as if to say, ha, fuck you.
It's like, go for them. I dare you.
I dare you. Come on, take these red coins. You need them, you do, but, there's like a 70% chance you're gonna die doing it.
Oh,
Have
man.
fun, but you have to get almost all the red coins with the thing moving, which is almost impossible. So pretty much what happens is you go up to the second level and you constantly fall to the first level, getting these coins so that you don't die every single time doing it. Before you can get up to the top, which, by the way, avoid the thwomps because they'll kill your ass too. Because they come out of nowhere. You can't see it because the wonderful nature of the C-stick camera angle.
Thank you. I was going to mention that. That was like probably the one reason why I'm.
That was
constantly
honestly the
dying.
number one murder in both TikTok Clock and Rainbow Ride was the fucking camera.
Yes, I agree.
Just moves into the wrong spot, and all it takes is a microsecond before the level kills you, because that's what it's designed to do.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
fuck
man.
both of those.
That's
I cannot tell you the countless number of times I've tried to do those levels and rage quit because I can't fucking do it.
Real fast. I know we're running very short on time. I want to get this out. Some of the rage quitters that I've come across, very fun. Unfortunately, they're all Guilty Gear related.
Oh, God.
So,
Kinda.
yeah, I'll definitely speed this up. So, I am a Justice user. Everybody hates me for it. Enough said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had,
That's a fan.
I went up against a guy who was a Faust user, and he beat me the first set. So I said, great game, let's have a rematch. So he gives me a rematch. I beat him in 2 rounds, but before the second round could end, he rage quit on me, and he says, it's not fair because you used Justice. I'm like, excuse me, you beat me the first set, as I was Justice. And now you're pulling this because I'm Justice. Really? Rage quitter. And I'd say the best rage quit I got from Guilty Gear was the character, get to the character select screen. I choose Justice.
They quit.
Yep. The connection's been disconnected from the other user. And I'm just like, what the hell? So he messages me, says, why don't you choose somebody other than Justice? I'm like, I've heard of you before. I remember you. Because I had heard from somebody else who I was friends with, said that he'd rage quit on him. And we didn't make it past the character select screen just because I chose Justice. Poor bastard.
Oh,
Rage quitter! And I'm done.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's wow. That's a lot of rage quitting. Anyway, so thank you for joining us tonight. Honestly, if we had more time, I'd love to go through into some roleplay, some like RPG tabletop rage quits because we've got some good ones for those.
Oh, not me.
We need to make a time for that specifically. But
Next time on 99 Live.
Rage quit!
But yeah, so thank you for joining us tonight. Remember to comment on. We are reading the comments. If anybody actually decides to put anything down there, just let us. Just put it down. We'll read them. We'll respond if need be. But definitely like, subscribe, favorite, and we'll hope to see you next week.
All right, definitely.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.